Okay, so let me tell you, I want to tell you a little about this season that we're in. So we just transitioned into autumn, and I was just saying to Amy, what's great about being here this weekend is I got to completely experience the shift of seasons. The day I arrived, it was still summer, late summer, and now it looks like we're heading into winter, doesn't it? So it's very convenient that we're here at this time talking about the autumn season. So this is the season of the lung and the large intestine. Okay. In Chinese medicine, we consider that every season of nature is associated with an organ, an emotion, a color, a taste. There's an animal, a symbolic animal. There's a lot of things that are involved with each season, and it's sort of the idea and the sensations of this season. So right now we've come into officially the autumn season, which started at the equinox, right, the fall equinox. And we have 5 seasons in the Chinese system because we can't do anything like other people. Because we have the regular 4 seasons, but we have a season called late summer. It's like a 3 to 4 week season, and it's basically from mid-August to the equinox. And you know how that felt different than high summer, right? And we call it Indian summer, I guess, and isn't there another thing that we call it in the West? Dog days of summer, right? It's that in the summer, like June, July, you have a lot of energy, you want to go out, you're biking, you're swimming, you're surfing, you're tennising, you're doing everything, right? You're rock climbing, you're doing all that energy of that yang fire. And it's a season of fire. But near the end of summer, as it gets to late August, you know, the fruit is like, if you don't eat the fruit when you get it, right? Like the peaches and the plums are almost bursting. It's when you start making jam, because a lot of the fruit has turned, if you grow vegetables and fruit at home. And it's a duller time. Like, do any of you feel really lethargic, tired, unable to do anything, can't get started, don't really feel like doing yoga, you know, kind of a little bit moody, a little cranky, those last few weeks of August? And it's now fall, which is a different element, right? There's more of a letting, well, as nature, a letting go. The leaves are going to start to turn and fall off the trees. So it's a season of letting go, a season that changes as we move from the heavy yang, hot, active seasons to the yin, cool, dark, passive seasons. Like winter, right? Winter is cool, dark, and yin. You want to stay inside. You want to be more contemplative. But in the summer, you want to go out and like be fiery. So I have a belief and an opinion that if we tend to do our practice in relationship to what's happening outside in nature, we probably will be better off. We'll probably be more in tune. Have you ever tried to do a really aggressive, intense practice, like in the winter, and you just don't have the energy, the same kind of energy? And then you don't really want to, in July, you're not really wanting to lay around on bolsters, right? Because it's nice out, and if you live in a place that actually has seasons, you want to go outside. So I tend to do like a fiery practice in the summertime, the spring to summer, and then I do a cooler practice toward the winter, which doesn't mean that I'm not going to do inversions, I'm not going to do back bends. I do back bends, I do inversions, I do powerful poses, arm balances. But it's a different sensation. I'm not sort of like going at it. You know, it's like in the summer, you go at things. So we're now in the season of autumn, which is paired with the lung and the large intestine. The Chinese system always has 2 organs paired. One is a viscera and one is a hollow, right? Because the intestines are your bowels. That's a hollow organ. And the lung is a full organ, right? So we always pair them. And then there's meridians. I'm going to leave other people that know much more than me talk about the meridians, but basically the meridians are from the lung run up your arm, and from the large intestine also run up your arm, but on different aspects of the arm, on the physical needling points. But there's some energetic points that aren't needled. So the lung meridian actually begins in the belly, like really in the middle of you, comes up through, bisects into the lung. Each lobe of the lung comes back, comes up through lung 1, and comes all the way down. So it's as though the energy of the lung is moving up and out. Okay? Now, if you think about what the lung does, it inspires and respires, right? It moves out, in and out as we breathe. It receives air, oxygen, to feed us, this life force, chi, prana. The large intestine takes all of our food and moves it out, right? It's a transformation of the food into what's needed and what's not needed. The lung does the same thing, right? Because it's taking oxygen in, taking carbon dioxide out, right? Inhale, exhale. So it's paired with an element as well, and it's the element of metal. Because if you think about metal, metal can transform. You heat metal, it becomes liquid. You cool metal, it becomes solid, right? And you know how metal, when it gets cold, it contracts, and when it's hot, it expands. So if you think about that, it's like, the movement of the lungs. And the digestive system has to churn to push things out. So it's a season of metal, the season of the lung and large intestine. It's the color of white, and in the Taoist tradition, it's paired with the white tiger. But that's a really esoteric, complicated system that I'm not going to get into right now, nor would I be an expert at it. So there's the flavors. The flavor right now is of spice, spicy. Not like just insane spicy Thai food, but the idea of warming, right? Warming. So it's a good time to eat things like ginger, cinnamon. I mean, doesn't that sound good now? It's cold out. It's newly cold out too, right? We're not used to putting on a lot of clothes. Our bodies are used to being warmer right now, so we need to build up the internal heat, right, to prepare for the long winter. So eating foods that have a little bit of, like, spice is hot, right? It's warming to the body. So when we eat those foods, it's warming to the insides, and it's warming to our system. The idea also of the lung meridian on an emotional aspect is that it holds the emotions of grief. On the flip side, it holds the emotion of courage, right? Now, that sounds a little weird, but if you think about it, when you're sad and experiencing any kind of grief, you can't take a breath, right? You feel breathless. Like it's hard to take a big inhalation in and exhalation out. Because grieving brings us into a place where you tend to hold your breath. You're kind of tight. So this is a season where you have to acknowledge that the lungs will transform that energy that might be inside of you. So it's considered the season to let go. Nature shows that. The leaves are coming off the trees. The fruit is falling off. And it's the nature of the cycle of things, right? As the leaves fall off, the tree prepares for winter, its hibernation, so that spring can come up new life. So we don't see these emotions as terrible things. I know in the West, it's very difficult to deal with grief in the West. We don't like to talk about things. We just don't want to go there. The thing that we always say when we hear someone has a loss is, oh, time will heal, right? You say things like that. And it's like we want to avoid that sensation. Grief is something that is part of our life. You'll probably never heal from the loss of someone you love. It just might change. That's all. It just might get less close to the surface. My father died 20 years ago, my mother died 10 years ago. That doesn't make it any less, right? I still remember them both every day. But if I hold that grief in me and I don't let it out, I don't let it go, I truly believe that turns into illness, like cancer. Like the things that you're just holding in your body, to not let it out. So this is a season that we consider a really good time to let go, like to really think about what can I let go in my life? What's not serving me? What can I live without? And it takes great courage to do that, doesn't it? Because we've usually been holding on to something really tight because there's something that we just can't, not quite time yet. So it takes a lot of courage to say, okay, you served me, go. So that other things can come in. And we all know that. When you let go of things, it gives space for something else to come in. So this is the season of, and it's like a lung, right? It's like metal, right? Moving out, moving in, out. Inhale, exhale. So it's a great time to kind of get more quiet, to start thinking about organizing, right? Toward the end of the year. And we all do this. The project that you started at the beginning of the year, that you thought you were going to finish by summer, you're kind of scrambling now, right, to finish it if you had made some promise to yourself, some inner stressful timeline to finish it up by the end of the year. So now everybody's sort of scrambling. I mean, I know this is like when I start booking all my things, all the people that haven't booked me for next year, I'm doing all the calendar, the final things, right? Everything's kind of, oh my gosh, we have to finish up the year. So it's a great time to organize, right? Organize your house, organize your life, figure out what you don't need, what you do need, creating space for the newness that might come with the dawning of the spring, and preparing for winter, hibernation. Right? This is the time when the animals are scurrying to collect all their food and get ready to hibernate like a bear in the wintertime. So it's a great time to kind of put things in order. Because in the summer, I don't know about you, but I'm like way too scattered to get things organized. Like I start to clean my house and then I go outside, and it's half clean. Whereas now I'm more into just checking out what's going on. I'll clean up the yoga room, decide to get rid of stuff, clean out the closets. It's a really nice time to get that order. It's also a great time to do pranayama, right? The practice of breath control and retention. So, because what happens is that the breathing really helps us keep all these emotions in a calm way. So this time of year, I start to do more meditation. I do much more meditation practice in the wintertime. It feels really appropriate. I start to clean up my house and my life and get things in order for the new year. I practice in a way that's really about what do I need to do for my body? How can I balance my energy? I don't want to get too vata out, and I don't want to get too dull. Right? So I don't want to become too rajasic. I don't want to become too tamasic. I'm very kapha, so I can get very tamasic very easily. I can get depressed, I can get mucousy, all that kapha stuff. So I need to, for my own constitution, I have to actually do a little bit more. Now, if you're a vata person, like the really energetic person, that's talking really fast, got 1,000 things going on, I know you know that you're that person. It might be time to just take some time. Do slower poses, less. Stay longer in poses. A slower, contemplative way to prepare for that winter season, we do tuck in, right? That's contemplation season. This is like organizing. And it makes sense, just like harvest, right? Because we harvest now. In the winter, you store, right? The food. If we're in an agrarian society, that would be what would happen. In the spring, we plant, right? We plant the seeds in the spring. We start to reap the benefits of our planting in the summer. We bear fruit in summer. In late summer, it starts to turn. In the autumn, we harvest that which we took care of in the beginning of the year. So if you had started some projects, this is a good time to take care of it, to start winding them up. If you had some plans for yourself for the year, it's a good time to really like get those things going. It's a great time to start adding restorative poses in just a little bit. You know, maybe you just starting to really wind down. It's a good time to focus on the rib cage and not just the front, the back, right? So things like cat-cow, right? Cat-cow is moving that energy from front to back, and you really feel the this expansion of the back, expansion of the front. You know, we don't look at cat-cow as a big pose because we think, oh, it's like beginner, it's for the intro people. Cat-cow is one of the best poses for your spine because you get really good action of the spine. And it's great for just like kind of waking up this upper cavity. I have a list of foods that you can eat. I have some stuff on my blog as well, but I made a list of the foods. Is that interesting to you? Okay, what you should eat. I had to make a list. It's all very complex. Oh, the other thing is that there's a beautiful, in Chinese, we have these beautiful names. I mean, to me, they're beautiful, of what things are. So we say that the lung is the one that receives the pure qi from heaven, right? Because it's our breath, our prana, our life force. Like that we really take that in, our life force. And that the large intestine is the dustbin collector. Because it's the one that it drains the dregs of what we don't need, right? It eliminates. So I kind of like the way that we talk about these things. And there's a lot of talk about heaven and earth, and you know, I'm kind of partial to that idea. It's very Taoist, it's very Confucian. But the foods that are, I have this, oh, okay. The foods that are great to eat are whole grains, squashes, pumpkin, root vegetables, corn, the spices of cinnamon, ginger, a few mushrooms. Mushrooms get complex because in Chinese medicine we use them as herbs, but bringing in some mushrooms in and fungus. Things like baked apples, right? Doesn't that even sound good, right? Like a baked apple, because it's got the cinnamon spice, it's the warm fruit, right? So all the grains, barley, millet, oat. Oh, you might want to think about starting to add more warming foods. Warm foods that are, you know, like stews, starting to get into more stewy food, because we want to eat that that's cold. You know, we want to get warm inside. You might want to think about adding like sea vegetables and, you know, kombu and stuff like that. Stewed fruits. Stewed fruits will be easier for you to digest in your system than a raw food. And taking care of your system. Because let me put it this way. In the middle of winter, unless you're in the southern hemisphere, okay, in the middle of December, in our winter, in the northern hemisphere, do you feel like eating watermelon? I don't even feel like eating salad that much. I'm not that into, like, pineapple. These are not foods that I'm as interested in. I am interested in eating foods that are comforting in the winter, right? Like squashes. I mean, the things that grow, right? Those things grow. In the spring, you might feel like eating more leafy greens, like sprouting things. You know, in the summer, all that delicious, you know, fruits. But in the winter, I want warming. I don't want to eat cold. I want to eat soups, stews, cooked things. I want to drink hot beverages, not cold beverages. So if you start to think about, you know this, I'm really not telling you anything you don't know. And that's the thing that's so beautiful about Chinese medicine, is it's not telling us new news. It's really just reinforcing that we as a human are part of this bigger world outside that is our cosmos. And if we recognize that this cosmos and this cosmos inside is one unit together, then we'll probably be walking through this life in an easier way, in a way that meets our needs more.